Hello friends, welcome to the Cold War Preppers Weekly Prepper Pantry Haul. Today is Saturday, March 2nd, 2024. So I'm actually going to start over here. Two of these are for display only. We've got, I bought the bag of dog food today. That's a 13-pound bag, I believe, and it had a $10 off coupon on it. So we like to keep 6 of those. I have these screw top plastic jars or jugs that we keep them in. I have a large one and a small one, but we like to keep 6 bags in stock. Then we have 6 boxes of the pedigree. We already have that, so this is box number 6. And then we like to keep 6 of the Caesar. So they get this pedigree gravy choice cut on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then they get the Caesar pate on Sunday. And I try to mix the gravy with the Nutro. Okay, so that's the dog food portion of it. Let's get into this. So I know this doesn't look like preparedness, but it is. I'm a slacks guy, so most often I wear slacks, but I think in a post-apocalyptic world, we're going to be going through jeans like you would not believe. So I picked up a pair of jeans to set aside. I'm also going to get a pair of suspenders. It's gotten to that point to where belts just don't do me any good. I've got to wear suspenders. Isn't that crazy? But anyhow, okay, let's get over here. 3 boxes of ammunition. I got some 20 gauge number 2 buck. I got some double aught buck for 12 gauge. And then I got the 7.62 by 51. Now remember that the 7.62 by 51 will fit in a 308. The 308 has a higher chamber pressure than does the 7.62 51. So if you want to go just a little bit less expensive on 308s, a 7.62 51 will fit in that, but not the other way around. You're running if you have what fires a 7.62 51? An AR-10. If you have an AR-10 and you're running 308 in it, you do have a problem with overpressurizing your chamber pressure. So remember those interoperabilities. The same thing, 5.5, that's the opposite actually. For the 5.56 223. 5.56 has, the military round is a higher pressure chamber than the civilian. So the 223 is the lesser chamber pressure there. Got some coffee filters. These are the cone filters. And the reason I got these is because I'm scared of having to filter out radioactive fallout. I've got a call in to SimPure and working with their engineers. But I don't want to bring in contaminated water and then run it through a SimPure filter and have that radiation sitting inside the filters inside my house. So I want to do some sort of a pre-filter outside that's going to remove the radioactive dust, the fallout from the water, and then bring the rest of the water inside the house for further decontamination. But I just don't want to bring that radioactive fallout into the house. So I'm going to set up a filtration system, an initial filtration system outdoors, and I'm going to be using coffee filters. These coffee filters I got, did not know they existed. I was watching a fantastic video where they were talking about percolators, camp percolators, and those are filters for a camp percolator. I did not know they existed, so I hurried up and got those. Of course, when you do percolator coffee, you want to have a coarse grind. So I buy beans, and this is for my shtf. Beans will last a lot longer than will ground coffee, and then you can just grind it to the coarse grind that you want, because you want coarse grind in a percolator. I do keep a record, believe it or not, of all my spices, and so I don't have Chinese 5 spice. I don't have, what's the other one I don't have? Onion salt. I'm out of onion salt. So I did get some sage and I got some garlic salt. I'll have to get more of that. Both of those were yellow highlighted in my inventory as being low or non-existent. Love you, Maggie. Maggie LB, one of our followers. She and I were talking about water filtration, water purification, everything else. She says, what do you do when you filter out everything out of your water and there's no trace minerals left? And now you've got basically, your water is so filtered that it doesn't have some of the natural benefits. And so she found this trace mineral drops. So after you filter your water and get rid of everything that's in it other than pure water, so you basically got distilled water in a sense, then you add a drop of this back in, and it's going to add back in all those minerals that you need to have enhanced water. 4 more butane fuel cartridges for the indoor stove. Been buying up a storm of office supplies, writing pads, graph composition notebooks so I can create codes and everything else. This is how I shop. So, here's what I was looking for today: garlic salt, onion salt, sage, allspice, and cloves. And then this is my monthly. You can see how often it gets used. It gets erased and added to and everything else. I need to erase what I got today. So this is my rotation. So each week when I go out, 1 week I get bacon up, the next I get coconut oil. You saw that last week. This week I'm going to show you olive oil. And then next week I do maple syrup, and then the week after, and then if there's a 5th week of the month, then I do molasses. But I only get molasses if there's a 5th week in that month. Speaking of which, where is my, oh, there it is. It's behind the coffee. So, and there's the, I get these little bitty jars of oil, because once you open oil, and if you don't keep it properly stored and cooled and everything else, it goes rancid very quickly. So I don't want a big jar that's going to go rancid. I want a small jar I can use up and have minimum waste. I did get a package of whole egg powder. You need that for baking, not for cooking, for baking. Picked up some Gulf wax for my candle making kit. Some electrical tape, so I have more tape of different types around the house. Binder clips for the office supplies, in case I need to put things together for the neighborhood. Some more index cards so I can keep track of inventory, keep track of neighbors, keep track of all kinds of stuff. 2 cans of soup, 2 of my favorites. The chicken, and both of these I got intentionally because they will enhance or be added to some of that Bear Creek freeze-dried soup starter. So this is one of those things you add to it for flavor and for just a little bit more oomph, if you will. Picked up some mosquito sticks, which are basically the, what's that called? Citronella oil candles, if you will. They're kind of like the sparklers that kids have, and put those up in the outdoors. Got another quart of lighter fluid, and for my grill, I've got 2 35-gallon trash cans full of charcoal. And so I just need to make sure I keep an adequate supply of lighter fluid as well. Did pick up another package of freeze-dried pork chops. So this is equivalent to 3 pounds once they're rehydrated. I went out in the garage. I was looking for my combat boots and in my old Foot Locker. And in my old Foot Locker, I found my old fatigues. These are before the BDUs. So I put them in the Foot Locker when we switched over to BDUs, believe it or not. And BDUs have gone away. I don't know what they're wearing now, what they're called. But anyhow, so I found my old alarm clock. I bought this when I first went to Fuel Station Augsburg in 1976. So this is a really old clock. You can see I've got it running. I'm just trying to make sure that I keep it wound up and keeping an accurate record of how much time it gains or loses, so I can adjust it and make sure I have fairly accurate time on the clock if we have an EMP and I lose all my electrical clocks. Went through the sales section at Walmart. They had line, and they had these kits, which is basically a little bitty bundle pack of worm hooks, sinkers, and bobbers, and that was on sale. That was half off, from $3.95 down to $2. Then they also had line, monofilament line. They had 15, 6, and 12 pound. I wanted some 9 pound, but they were sold out. But anyhow, they did have monofilament line. Fantastic. Get fishing line all you can. That's a good thing to have around the house, whether it be for fishing, whether it be for tripwires or for alarm systems or anything else. Just so you want to use the heavier, the 15 pound for your trip alarms and tripwires. And that's going to do you an awful lot of good. So that's pretty much everything we got for this week. Oh, no. I had to order these off of Amazon, but I told you, I think last week or a week before, that I really wanted, I can't find any undated weekly planners. And so the reason I want them is I printed out the maps. Somebody said, yeah, just go ahead and print out the calendars. Somebody said, just go to Google and get calendars for the years that you're concerned about and print out calendars. Well, that's a calendar. The calendar is essential to get the dates in here, but what I wanted something that had no dates, because we don't know when the EMP is going to happen. So I got 3 years worth of undated weekly calendars, and that way if EMP happens now, then I just use my calendar and put the dates into the planners, and then that way I can keep real good records of things that go on. What do I keep in there right now? Well, I keep in right. This is going to be. Let me get it. And I'll show you. You'll see how messy my desk is. Let me see. So here's an example of my planner. So up top are all the formulas for ham radio and everything else for my, getting ready to take my test. I take my pulse ox. So in the light green up top is the Bible verse that I'm doing for Bible in a Year. Then I do the Divine Mercy Novena, and so that's day 4, for example, and that's day 3 and day 2. In purple are the mysteries of the Rosary that I prayed that day. Then off to the right we have my pulse ox and pulse rate for the day, and then any other notes that I might have. Somebody recommended during one of our lives that I get rosemary to keep insects away, mosquitoes especially. So I wrote that down as an important tip to remember. And then here you see I have my clock, my green one, at 7:22. It was behind 10 minutes. So that had been on for 12 hours and lost 10 minutes. And then when we get over here, I decided to go ahead and open my other clock. Where is it? Here it is. I don't know where it is. I thought I had both of them in there. Anyhow, this is just all those kinds of things I keep in there. Now, some of the other things I'll keep in there is 1 year I kept in, every time we replaced a tube of toothpaste or a roll of toilet paper or a roll of paper towels, or, I just kept a track of how often do we use up sanitary supplies, so I know how much I need to keep in stock for at least 1 full year's worth of sanitary supplies. Shampoo, hand soap, dishwashing soap, all those different things. And I recommend that you do that too. Get a planner. And then just every time you replace something, make a note of it. Put it in a spreadsheet. How often are you going through stuff? And how long will 3 bottles of shampoo last you? Of course, we won't be, you can multiply it probably by 3 or 4 because we won't be shampooing and showering as much as we used to. But you know what I mean. Get a good idea. Get a good handle on how much of each item you're going to be needing in case of an shtf. So that's pretty much where we are for this week. Notice there's not that much food. Egg powder, 2 cans of corn, and pork chops because Helen says I can't take over any more room in the house. That I am restricted from any additional growth of space for prepping. So that's how it goes. Remember that we're all in this together, so we can come out the other end together. Please be kind, polite, and respectful to each other. We're all God's children, and if we don't do this together, we just will not survive. And we've got to treat each other a heck of a lot better than how we have been treating each other, especially since about 2000. I think that election in 2000 really got contentious, and we have been aggressively at each other's throats for too long. And it's time that we kiss and make up and we say, you know what, we're one country and we need to do what's best for the country instead of what's best for us. And we need to fight Satan together because go back and watch that 1965 Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil or If I Were Satan video. I mean, he nailed it. That's exactly where we are today. He predicted that we would be in the state of disarray that we are all the way back in 1965. So, yeah, do me a favor. Be kind, polite, and respectful to each other, and let's get through this together. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.